Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome to TeaTalk&Tarot, the podcast where we mix real talk, tarot, and just the right amount of chismecito.
I'm Jax, a master manifester, spellcaster, and gifted tarot reader dedicated to fostering a supportive and transformative healing community.
During our Brujis Roundtable, I will be reading the chismecito with my tarot cards.
And I'm Eve, an intuitive empath dedicated to helping others heal, embrace self-love, and step fully into their most authentic selves. I will be pulling oracle cards for our listeners during our collective reading today.
Here we unpack life, relationships, and everything in between with a little tarot insight and lots of laughs.
Each episode, we start by spilling the tea as our guest shares their story. Then, Brujis Roundtable, where we pull tarot cards to offer our guests some guidance. And finally, we wrap up with a collective reading just for you, our listeners, during the collective reading. To learn more about us or for more insights, updates, and behind-the-scene content, visit readingthetea.com or follow us on Instagram and TikTok at TeaTalk&Tarot Pod.
So grab your tea, get comfy, and let's get into it.
All right, everyone, we are back, and today we have a special guest. We have our first male guest, and we're really excited to have Juan Carlos with us.
You got mail.
We do. Actually, he was delivered all the way from where?
From Texas area, actually.
So there we go. If you're from Texas and you're listening, let us know that you're listening from Texas. So, without further ado.
All right, amigos, spill the tea.
So, Juan Carlos, tell us about your journey.
Well, it's really interesting, actually, because my journey comes from the Dominican Republic, if you guys know where that's at.
Yes, very familiar.
But
I love
my
DR
parents,
friends.
oh my gosh, it's the most fantastic spot you can go to, quite frankly. I'm in love with the country, honestly, but my parents are born there. I was raised mostly in the U.S., but I really claim to be more Dominican than I do really American, because I really treasure my culture, honestly. So I definitely always love starting my journey by saying that's a big part of who I am, because that definitely raised the roots for how I became who I am today. So from there, honestly, I've had a really big passion for law.
Okay.
And that started really when my mom used to watch like Jag back so
I know
many
exactly
years ago. And I was like, I want to be that guy.
Our younger listeners will not know.
Nope.
I'm not even young, and I don't know who that is.
Mira. Look, what happened was your parents' influence have a major effect on you. And just even what they were watching, what they would talk about, it sculpted me to really pave the path that I've done today. And again, just watching Judge Advocate General, JAG, for those who don't know the acronym, really made me want to be a lawyer. I want to be that guy, that badass guy who's in there and just shooting off the MP5 in a courtroom, apparently. Like, that's what a lawyer does. Man, was I wrong. Mira, when I actually got into it in elementary school, there's a program called Youth Advocacy.
Okay.
Elementary school. And I was so obnoxious, I'm not going to lie, that's part. I wanted to be the guy always speaking out saying, objection! Even though I had no idea what the hell it meant. I was so outgoing. It's kind of like, this is kind of me, who I am. So skip a few years, I get into undergrad, and I'm going to do political science. I'm going to do the traditional route of poli-sci major. Vamos con español también, because I'm Dominican. I got to get my Spanish degree as a low-hanging fruit. Why not? And then I hit some trouble, honestly. Life happened in the sense that there was an issue for me in undergrad where I had some academic misconduct, and it was unintentional, quite frankly, my senior year. And that blew up my journey, frankly, to get and be into law school immediately after undergrad. What happened actually was the fact that because of this incident, they actually rescinded my offer letter from a law school.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the first time feeling this absolutely dreadfully low point in my life, where I actually hit the bottles more than I ever have in my life. Because it's like, man, what happened to my dream now? Now what am I going to do? And this kind of played out to the fight, like my plan for myself, so a big plan for my future.
And this is all you had ever dreamed of.
Exactly. Desde jovencito. And torn to pieces. So thankfully, the people who cared about me really were a big part of my getting my ass out of that low point. And it's even hard saying this, like, frankly, publicly, because It's not a fact I like to admit because I had a lot of accomplishments and accolades during my undergraduate career. Is it right to say career, at least for undergrad? I'm going to say career anyway.
Academic career.
I mean, you don't work, so that is your career, right? You're a
Touche.
student.
My student career, fair point. Vamos con eso. But that's a big part for me that actually hit like, man, the fact that people talk about imposter syndrome a lot. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, talking about this now, I'm starting to feel like, okay, hold on. I did go through that stuff back when I was in this prior situation for myself. Because I felt like I wasn't who I said I was going to be. I wasn't feeling that type of, man, I'm going to be successful. Am I really deserving of this? Am I really who I am? I'm like, does this one major incident define who I am? And I thought it was something small. I mean, it was like literally not citing in a paper is what happened. And all of a sudden, all these future paths just came tumbling down my ass.
Wow.
Yo como que diablo, coño. Now what? So this happened in 2010. Now in 2014, I get my shot to go to law school. And it was because of a board member who was a professor at the law school that I started going to. He advocated for me and told me, so what? Who the hell cares if you made a mistake? You just got to own it up and be honest with yourself.
That's exactly what it was. It was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
The key part that really resonated with me was the part about being honest with yourself. Not something very easy to do, although people claim they do it. And especially, honestly, I'm going to say for Latino men particularly, that self-honesty and self-reflection to where you're being truly candid with your own perspective, it's not easy to do. Because el orgullo is something that gets in the way and rears its ugly head more often than not. And it changes how you act when you really should be self-reflecting and kind of pave that right path forward versus that tangential path that just gets you off where you should be going. And that's definitely what I felt was starting to self-correct at that point, because I felt for those 4 years between 2010 and 2014, things were in limbo. It felt like I was just treading water, as it were, versus actually getting my ass back on the path I should have been. And I felt comfortable. Maybe I'm living life now, doing things with friends that, made me feel good versus doing things that I needed to do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that
I think that'll resonate with a lot of people.
more people than not go through that process, but they don't care to admit it. And then later on, they're like, man, I wish I would have done things differently back then. In year 2014, I'm starting to go to law school now, and as things started going better for me, I started having people who were advocating. I got into a program with the Association for Lawyers called the ABA. And my fraternity brother actually was the one who got me into this position that allowed me to become a leader within this association as a law student, as a 1L. And I was still going to school in the evening while working full time, mind you. So my ass was working from 7 to 5 and then rushing right over to the law school for evening school from 6 to 9. And then heading home, being home by about 10 o'clock. And then hasta punta pa'lante, I got study.
Study, yeah, homework.
Coño, me jodí con eso. Like, that was just devastating. And that was 4 years of my life that way. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy even. I had no life. When I had a life before, and I'm like, okay, this is what I wanted. How I got it. Pa'lante, entonces. So I made it work. I made it happen. And I actually got better grades in law school than I did in undergrad. And I'm like, you know what? This is who I am. This is definitely me, and I was right to pursue this. And I'm glad someone finally picked me up and told me it's okay. And as he told me, move the hell forward.
I think that's so important. I think a lot of times we get stuck with our mistakes. We get stuck with what's happened in the past. And that's such a big part of healing is admitting, acknowledging what happened, what transpired, and whatever decisions we made, whether they were intentional or unintentional, admitting that, accepting that, releasing that, and letting go. And until you do that, you're just continuing to live in the past.
100% Eve.
And shout out to the person that told you, move on, you did it. Like, almost like, what did you learn from it? Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you made that mistake. Like, oh,
live in
well.
it. Yeah.
But it's the people around us, the leaders that are like, hey, you did that mistake, but what did you learn from it? Like, how are you going to move past it?
And the truth is we're all human. right? So I would dare to ask you, Juan Carlos, what did you learn during that time? Because there's a piece of self-reflection I feel like now, looking back, that letter was rescinded, and I'm sure that crushed you. I mean, we talked about that. But what did you learn during that time?
During that 4 years when I had that gap, or when finally
Yeah, during that
turning
gap.
point. Yeah, that gap, I didn't learn much because I didn't let myself learn much. I was in self-loathing. I was in such a dark hole for myself that, reflecting on it now, I thought I was finding other pathways to move forward in life. I was wrong. Looking at it now, I can honestly say I was more so trying to just get by in life to make myself feel good. The feel good part is the part that I think really today, I can really say candidly speaking, that was my vice to kind of, or even a drug to kind of get me past that point. It was really that opioid type of effect where it took a hold of my mental acuity at that point to really deal with what happened, the trauma that I went through that process. And frankly feel like I'm doing something about it, but in reality it was just a facade.
So that's what I wanted to talk about, because it seems like you were stuck in this topical, at the top, surface level, feel good. You got those, your words. This was a feel good. But it's never going to make you feel good unless you really dig deep.
Yeah.
And you sit with that. And I'm so thankful that this person, to your point, Jack, was able to give you that opportunity and that chance and say, we all make mistakes. Let's move forward. That self-loathing, when we sit in that area, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's why we see a lot of people who have addictions to sex, alcohol, or whatever, because they're looking for that short span feel good.
Yeah.
And until they start healing what's inside of them, whatever trauma, issues is in them, they're never going to be truly happy and successful, I think. So now moving forward, you're in school, you graduate from school. Ahora qué?
So I continued down my path and where I was. I was an executive at my financial institution at that point in time. So during my course, my 4 years in law school, I've been promoted 3 times during that process. So I started to fall in love within the industry I was at, within the legal regulatory compliance area of this life. I'm like, you know what? I've never thought about this facet, but because I was actually at a community-based financial institution overall, I was creating these impacts with La Comunidad that I never thought possible. I saw life from a different lens. As a student, you can't see that stuff going on. And then once you're immersed in the quote-unquote the real world, as it were, coño, la vaina cambia con eso. Like, you see life from the lens that you were quote-unquote sheltered from or protected from the reality of things, of what's really happening. And you start to imagine, okay, there's a purpose to what I'm doing. I'm seeing the impact of what I'm doing, even what I think is small, but my God, it has such a tremendous wave of influence on others that I'm helping to do this with. And I'm like, what I'm doing right now in law school can really be applied in a way to really benefit others that don't have that opportunity to do it for themselves. So I said, you know what? This goes back to what I felt with JAG. Back when I was a kid in JAG, the biggest thing that I said when I was young growing up was, I want to be the sword and shield for the people.
Okay.
And you know what? I can do this from a corporate environment, still do and make what I want to do for myself, but at the same time have it be valuable and meaningful to the others who I'm actually trying to help. And the banking world, honestly, was that route for me at that time, and it still is today. So I continue my journey down in the banking world. I haven't left it since, frankly, at this point. And I was able to help out hundreds and hundreds of people within their housing needs, for example, who were redlined with lending opportunities, those who were discriminated against, for example, giving them other opportunities, fighting internally for saying this is not right. We need to change this policy because we're impacting X amount of members and then later on customers by this type of product or this type of procedure. And I can affect that change internally, which was the biggest differential for me versus just seeing things from the outside in. Now I'm actually in the system working on this with an association to where I became chair of a major committee within the section to be leadership overall and affect change even within the legislative opportunities that the association supports when it comes to garnering laws out there for certain endeavors, and an influence also, for example, in banking committee laws out there as well too in this process. So I just continued down that pathway, and eventually it landed me where I am today, that major large bank, top 10 bank, within still regulatory compliance. But the funny thing is still, I'm not satisfied. I don't feel like I'm still quite there yet. And that's the
¿Qué es lo que
awkward
tú
thing behind
buscas?
it. That's the thing.
Es lo que estás buscando.
And
Is
that's
that
the
what we're
thing.
here for today? ¿Qué
It
es lo
could,
que
you know, it could be que lo que, I don't know.
¿Qué lo que? Dice que lo que. I say this because as you were sharing your story, and Jax, jump in, but I feel like there's this component of you wanting to give back to the community and that giving you some sense of fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about this. And there's this part of me that thinks that if you would have gone to law school at a younger age,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have maybe fallen into law school and gotten your job, I don't think that you would have been in the position that you were to advocate and to help people. So when we think about divine timing, I really think that things needed to happen that way to give you that experience. Para que tú también, no sé, siento como que there's a part of you that aprovechaste más law school. You said, I had better grades. I think there's a part of us that we're like, I'm going to take my shot. Just, I'm going to take my shot. I'm not going to miss this. I'm going to do the best with this opportunity that was given to me. I'm not going to let people down. I'm not going to let myself down. Y todo tuvo que pasar así. Everything had to happen that way so that you could be in this position, so that you could help legislation, so you could help this population that needed that. That I think otherwise, especially because when we're younger, a lot of us are so money driven.
Yeah, I was going to say the maturity and that hiccup like helped build your character to be who you are today.
100%. I mean, we hear you and we're like, oh, such a distinguished gentleman, Juan Carlos, that we have here. We're like, we're so honored that
With
you're
the
here
narrator voice.
with the narrator voice.
Thank you.
And all the accolades and everything you have, even academically. And yet there's something in your soul that's saying, I'm not quite there.
And that's honestly what led me to feel like what the hell's happening now that I'm feeling like I'm still missing something, a part of me that's not there yet. And I had to self-reflect because honestly, when the person who told me years ago in 2014, it's okay, but you got to accept and move the hell on. He used the F word instead, but you know, I'm going to keep it a little kosher.
He's like, pardon my French here.
Excuse. But I've been through this process before, so maybe I apply that now to myself. And I say, okay, what's missing? What am I doing? Why am I feeling how I feel today? And part of it was because of my continued failure to not have passed the bar yet. So that's a big portion there. So this is important for a reason. Later on, as an adult, going past the point where I had the major gap in 2010 and 2014 where I was at my all-time low, remnants of that feeling came back and surged itself post 2018 when I had graduated law school, failed for the first time, and then failed again. I'm like, coño, ¿qué me pasa?
Trigger.
I said to myself, there are dumber people who apparently get past this damn thing. Like, for real? Pero that self-imposter system came at that point. Okay, so maybe I'm not who I thought I was. Maybe I really was a Latino who needed help in law school from these professors. Is that what really happened here? Did I get a handout? And all these thoughts just came rushing to me.
I just felt it in my body.
So I'm like, okay, backstep here. Well, let's reflect again, go through the process. What's going on with myself? Why am I feeling this? What's really at the crux of what's happening here? And it's because I continue to fail. And then I thought about, well, hold on. Failure's fine. Remember, failure's fine. There was a point where I actually accept my deficiencies, accept my shortcomings, and start figuring out where my strengths can help me to actually bridge those gaps better. There was a scenario actually around 2023 or so. I spoke in a presentation actually for law students at a conference. There was about a good 100 plus law students who came to this conference. And they had me as an emergency panelist, and I was amongst, and this is big for me because I was amongst the GC of Microsoft who was there.
Wow.
And a named partner in the top 10 law firm in the country who was phenomenal in his industry. So I'm speaking amongst these giants next to me. The topic was the day in a life and the career path you took to where you are today. So I'm like, oh, how honest do I want to be? Mind you, I've not told anybody there I failed the bar exam because they keep asking me to speak on panels, on these CLEs example, which you don't have to pass the bar to do that for the record. Just, you know, legal few out there. But this is a big thing because I'm like, do I dare really tell them like the candid truth, or do I keep it to just specific facts about my journey? And I said, you know what? Let's do it. I told them the law school experience, working full time, going through that process. I had to tell them straight up at that point. And to this date, I still haven't passed the bar. And the room went silent. And then, this was the turning point for me. you saw these glimmers in some of these students' eyes looking at me, nodding their head up and down in a positive manner, like, oh my God, hold on, did I just say something that resonated with people here? This is a big turning point, because once I said that, then I was able to actually talk about me. Really me, my emotions, my struggles, todo.
Do you realize what you did, though, at that moment?
I don't.
You gave them permission to fail. You gave them permission so that if this happens to them, it's okay.
And I flat out told them, like, look, I became successful where I am today, even with the failures. And I still, to this day, continue to fail. I told them, like, honestly, at this point in my life, I realized failure has defined me. But failure has defined me to no longer cripple me. But failure has defined me to be able to actually grow beyond the foundation of what I had, as long as I don't let it cripple me.
Yeah.
And that's when all of a sudden my two esteemed panelists, actually the GC from Microsoft, like, I'm really glad you said that, because we hear always about the positive things. And my gosh, I never thought about mentioning the failures. We never talk about failures. I'm like, no, we don't. And honestly, that's for me right now is I want to be candid with the rest of the students here. You're not going to pass the bar the first try. Some of you won't. The stats alone say it. In California, you barely get a 6% passing rate. You may not be part of the percentage. Strive, push, of course, tell yourself, I'm going to do it. You need that reinforcement, but be real with yourself and say, if I don't do it, what's your plan?
It's okay.
What's next? Can you accept that? Claro. What's next? Move forward. Pa'lante, coño. And then started more reflecting about me, which I didn't want to do, but they started resonating more with what they wanted to listen to versus what they thought they were going to hear. After the conversation, both the panelists came to me. They want to talk more with me directly. Next thing you know, the students were there. I had about 15, 20 students coming to me directly and telling me, thank you for saying that. We've never heard that aspect of what it took to overcome that path, because I've been scared, for example. One of them told me.
Exactly. We're all sick, scared shitless.
So I'm like, you got that right. Like, I've been scared, and I've even lied to my friends about that, because it's a pride thing. And it wasn't...
The ego?
Coño,
¿Es de los hombres?
You know what? Así es sometimes, because you know what? For a Latino male, you will definitely see a lot of machismo happening. For damn sure. I don't deny that at all. Have I done some stuff in the past? Claro. Do I do it now? Not really, because honestly, I've matured beyond that point. I've learned a lot from that point. But you better believe I had that Latino orgullo and the ego that goes along with that. And it's really more so, am I actually able to do and accomplish everything that's expected of me to accomplish?
That's exactly what I was going to talk
Being
about.
a man, and I'm going to say because I'm Latino, I'm Dominican, it has a lot of implications as far as what you're expected to do and what you truly are able to do. And it hurts. And honestly, I don't think women honestly understand this from a male's perspective. It is a very different bestia for us. You don't, and I'm saying this very respectfully, please, I want to caveat that by saying,
We're all trying very hard to keep calm.
damas, por favor, you know, if you're listening to this, be open about what I'm about to say, because it's going to be a grain of truth here for you all to understand.
Yeah.
We don't want to tell you what's happening with our scenarios. When you see us, they tell me, mi amor, what's wrong? Nothing, I'm good.
Todo bien. Todo bien.
It's because we don't want to let you know how much we failed, for example. And believe me, it happens more often than not. You just don't know it, or you probably do know it, but you just don't want to pry further, which I will tell you right now, we appreciate, because it's just something we have to work through on our own. And women will say at that point, but we want to be part of that journey with you. Y yo entiendo eso, but we're wired in such a manner that we just need our own solace to work things out, because we want to be the man for you. And even more importantly, I'm going to be honest, we want to be the man for ourselves. There is a masculinity thing here that's just, it's hard to get past. It is who we are. It is who I am. And it's not about being like the egotist, or just, as some will perceive it to be, as machismo, coño. It's not. We need to be able to figure things out so that we can be better for you and be better for ourselves. While we value our companions or friends' perspective, especially from a female side, we do value it. We just need the time for ourselves. And I'm sure women feel the same way too sometimes.
We love that you're bringing that perspective, because there are a lot of women who are like, but I want to know. I want to be there 100%, because we want you males to know that we are there with you. But I don't think I've ever talked about masculinity and that this is a belief system that's been ingrained in you all, right? You have to be this, you have to do that. On the flip side, and I'm going to say this, and I know some of y'all are going to disagree with me.
Vamos.
But if you are sensitive, if you are that, then we perceive you as weak.
I'm going to say it worse. You're a pussy. And that's the way that we've been taught.
And then
like,
all of a sudden, las mujeres are like, that's so unattractive. I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying there is a group of women
let's
who
be honest,
will see
it's
that.
a majority of women in this day and age. Así la vaina. That's just straight how it is.
And I think there's a nice duality to that piece of allowing women to be in their soft era and their femininity to say, aquí estoy if you need me. Right? And stepping back and allowing you to feel your feels, to do whatever. But it also takes this masculine male to say, I'm okay, I just need time.
Yeah.
And I think the lack of communication is where we get stuck.
I will concede to some degree.
Okay, the attorney just walked in.
To some degree, because I will say the following. I will caveat it to say what happened was.
Very strong argument.
Very strong. That's the quintessential opening argument for us.
The opening argument is just very, very strong.
We also have to straddle that boundary very carefully to say, can my guy also handle things? And when we're caught trying to be open with you and communicating and being so open that we're involving you frequently in our problems, then that script flips and say, bueno, mi hombre aquí doesn't have his shit together. And now we're being punished for including you in what we are supposedly supposed to be open with you about. So now I turn it back to you both. Like,
I was thinking that. I was like,
what now? Que lo que?
I was like, who did that to you?
Who hurt you? No, but it's true, though. I think we can agree that there will be women who will be like, oh, no, he can't handle this. He's a pussy. He's whatever. I'm not saying I would say that. But I
Thank
think
you for clarifying that.
but I think that there will be women who will think that. I mean, I'll be completely honest. In my early age, I was very much in my masculine energy.
You got them pants on, girl.
And I've realized that's not what I want to be, and I was in that because I was in survival mode. It's all I ever knew. I needed to get shit done.
You had expectations, though, to do that.
I had my own expectations. So I think even now, there's this part where we want to be understanding, but also, are you going to get shit done or not? And I think that's what you're getting to.
Uh-huh.
And it's a balance. It's a sensitive thing, especially an expectation that you have of yourself. That's hard to deal with. How can I share this with my partner, with whoever, if I can't even figure this shit out myself?
Yeah. When I'm not there myself, the age-old phrase. You got to help yourself first before you can help others.
Claro.
So if I can't even be there in my own capacity, how can you expect to make sure to include you? We're not going to shit show right together. No, que se explota eso. Not doing that.
Now there's two of us.
Right. No. Tread water, por lo menos, un poquito. So honestly, a lot of that has been part of just life as Latino in general. I mean, honestly, being Dominican, like a Caribbean mentality, it's a whole different conversation. Yeah.
We'll invite you back for that next episode.
Part two.
Part two. Stay tuned.
But I will say, though, there is a big change that happened later on because after I was honest with myself and with others, especially about that process, then I was like, what am I missing so far? And when I was younger, I was doing a lot of athletics. I was in track and field for God knows how many years, and in wrestling, for example, the sports guy. But that part was what I was missing, was just my whole other aspect of my life. Athletics, competing. So I'm like, okay, I definitely can't do the shit I was doing back then when I was 120 pounds running freaking sprints. That's not
How the
happening.
knees working out for you?
Man!
He'll tell you when he tries to get up from the chair.
So I'm like, okay. Life got worse for me physically, at least at that point, because I was weighing almost damn near 30% body fat. And I'm like, okay, shit's got to change. Like, this is no more. I was trying to lose weight, get back to how I was before. I felt bad about myself, and that back and forth, and life happens. You know, I got to stop that. I cannot keep letting myself say life happens, and that be the excuse of what happened there. Yeah. So I said, okay, what can I do? What do I want to do? And I started reflecting, okay, I'm like, hold on. My dad led bodybuilding in the DR when he was younger. He even had Lou Ferrigno when the Hulk series was happening during that time frame. They came down to promote the show, and they asked my dad to do a promo show with them about lifting weights. So I have had that mentality. instilled in me since I was very, very young. And my dad kept lifting weights and kept bodybuilding. And in fact, for him, it was because his father, my grandfather, okay, Lucas Paz, was asked to compete in the Olympics on behalf of the DR in powerlifting. And my grandfather said, no, you can be a doctor, and crushed his dreams right there. Never stopped lifting, but he pursued, of course, his professional degree and became a doctor. Well, I said, you know what? And I'm close to my dad already, but to be even closer to my dad, because we don't always have to live apart from him, have my own life. I want to do something to make that deeper and also fill a need that I was missing. So I said, okay, I'm going to bodybuild. And that's what I started doing. And as of last year, I started that journey in September. I was at 217 pounds, but when you have 30% body fat, good Lord, you don't look that great. And my muscle mass was about 92 pounds. Fast forward to where we are today. So a little over 9 months or so. I then flipped the script to be now 18% body fat.
Wow.
During the bulking process, I went from being 217 pounds to 271 during the peak of my bulking. And I jumped from being 92 pounds of muscle mass to 129 pounds of body muscle mass. And then I started my cut. And then I continued to drop down. So now I'm still now in 17% body fat, but I've also dropped a significant amount of weight overall. So that percentage will ratio out with that process. But I kept dropping in the fat. And I hit that point, like, this is what I want to do. And I started feeling great. And I was like, I'm feeling much better myself. And it's not even about competing. I think it's just having the target to hit. Because I still have passive art. I'm like, I need to hit something. I need to actually fucking achieve a goal. I can't keep letting my failures feel like I'm down. And again, going back to the theme of failing, it has a major hold and influence on what people do.
And how people handle it.
Oh, 100%.
Because you could have just wallowed.
Yeah, I could have. But I turned it to a positive.
Exactly.
Channeled my emotions in a way that let me put it in a more positive effect to myself.
Little did he know he's an alchemist.
A little bit of sugar, a little bit of spice. you know.
You turned pain and this darkness into power. And that's what alchemy is.
It definitely is. And I definitely changed that into a more positive manifestation for myself. And that's where I am today, where I'm going to compete next year. My pro coach has been really on top of me, and he's been keeping my ass honest. That's a major part of it. So I'm going to compete in the classic physique division within the NPC, which is National Physique Committee. And my goal is to, within 2 to 3 years, get my pro card and be a pro bodybuilder and make it to the Mr. Olympia stage within classic physique. Be the next Chris Bumstead, who was a 6-time Olympia champion for classic physique division. That's the goal.
In some ways, you're kind of helping meet your dad's dream.
It is. And I had
beautiful.
that as well, the realization as well to myself. I want to bring him along to have he live through me doing this. And I've included him in this process. Papi, I'm doing this, and we even had FaceTime videos. So it's been rewarding, to say the least.
Has that made you feel fulfilled?
It has. The meeting of a goal that I think is smart. It's strategic, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, it's time tracked. So for me, yeah, it has.
Thank you, first and foremost, for sharing your journey.
That's it.
This is my favorite part of the program, and that is when we get to ask Jax questions.
Time for the Brujis Roundtable. I will be drawing cards, and Eve will be pulling intuitive messages however she receives them.
All right.
First question.
Will I ever pass the damn bar?
Let's not ask you yes or no questions. I don't want that kind of pressure.
Okay, no, of course.
But we're going to ask that differently. So what is it going to be like on your journey? I feel like a lot of the struggle is exactly what you said. It's yourself. And it's moving past that fear. And it's almost like you're still not sure. You're like, am I not? Like, you're tiptoeing around it. So let me name these cards. 7 of Wands, Temperance, Queen of Wands, Reversed, and Judgment. So you still have a lot of judgment. Like, yes, you're healing, but there's still a lot of triggers, and you're still overthinking it. So it's not that you're not going to pass it. It's that you have to pass your own fears almost.
Get over myself.
Your own triggers. I wasn't going to say it like that. That's a little blunt.
It's all right.
Because it's almost like, yes, you're still passionate about it, but it's almost like you found a new passion.
That's fair.
So it's the balancing of that. Let's see. Then I have the 5 of Cups. So yeah, you're still sad about it. You're still focusing on it.
So very much still like, woe is me.
We call it the crying over spilled milk card. Sorry.
It looks that way too.
Yeah.
Legit.
Because you've accomplished so much, and I think you're missing that part.
And you see these 2 cups standing, like this person's so focused on the ones that are spilled that he's not even realizing all the good stuff that is coming. That's you. Like, you have so many good things coming. Like, you're talking about these competitions. You're talking about, like, changing your body, healing. Like, there's so much good in your story, but you're still stuck on that heartbreak. This is my bottom of the deck card. So it's like this heartbreak.
It's not wrong. I'll say that for sure.
And it's the 3 of Swords. Swords are like your own thoughts. So it's you. You're the problem.
It's like, am I the problem? Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
It's not you, it's me. It's definitely me.
So because I didn't want to ask the yes or no, we asked what your journey was going to be like. Now I'm going to ask how to prepare you to pass. Okay?
Let's do it.
Because I don't like yes or no. Sorry.
Prepárame.
I'm still seeing the message is get out of that headspace. Take that leap. Believe in yourself, but truly feel it and believe it. So not just like your thoughts, but like feel it. Tell yourself, I passed. Page of Cups reversed, 8 of Swords, Page of Swords, and Queen of Swords reversed. It's all headspace for you. Like, there's so much sword energy that is telling me it's your
All
thoughts.
thoughts. All thoughts. Yeah, another sword. All thoughts. Even the swords, right?
Yeah.
This is the Queen of
Yeah,
Swords.
the Queen of Swords. And then I got 9 of Cups reverse, which is emotion. So those thoughts are what's triggering your emotions, which is what's giving you like that fear almost.
I'm getting like it's more of a self-fulfilling prophecy right now at this point.
Interesting.
You yourself are like, oh, if I don't get it, it's okay. But in order to pass it, you really have to believe it. You have to get out of your thoughts and
Feel
say,
it,
no, I'm
believe it.
going to do it. It's going to happen. And what great way to say, it took me this many times, but I got there, guys. Let that be your story. Don't let that failure define you.
Truth.
Jax's cards like to be reversed.
You have to do what they want. Okay, so here comes the good part. So this is someone who can't see the good in front of them, the message in front of them. What is this? 4 of Cups, but it's reversed. So I feel like you're coming out of that energy. You're in the good space where you no longer feel like, hey, I missed out. That's 5 of Pentacles reversed. And the 5 of Cups came back up. Like, even though you're moving out of there, you still have a little of this left.
Still dragging myself.
And then we have the World card, which means, like, now is my time. The world needs to see me for who I really am. Which is, I feel like part of your healing journey was even telling your story as that panel and being really authentic. Like you said, people even went up to you and told you, we're so used to hearing about everyone's success. Thank you for telling us about your journey. Because I wouldn't exactly call it a failure. I call it a bump in the road.
Ooh.
Even when you're
Interesting
driving,
perspective.
even when you're driving, there's speed humps and sometimes you don't see them. You're like, oh, but you're there for the ride. You still get to your destination, right? Just because it wasn't the same route somebody else would take
Or what you expected.
Truth. True.
doesn't minimize what you're doing.
Feels more like a major potholesazo.
Yeah. And sometimes that happens, right? Some potholes are so big, your car is like, whoops. Then you got a flat tire, and then you got to fix that. But it's all about learning from those mistakes or those bumps in the road.
So in essence, if I'm understanding correctly, a lot of it's coming back to me and how I'm essentially building my own barriers for nothing.
En tu cabeza.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad likes to say, todo está en tu cabeza. But it becomes so real for us that it becomes physical, becomes emotional.
Manifest it, yeah.
There's a book called Power of Vulnerability. I love that book. Have you ever read it?
No, but I heard of it.
Okay, Power of Vulnerability. And that's so beautiful that you actually touched on that, because we have been told there is shame associated with being vulnerable, right?
Latinos!
And Latinos. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I remember.
That was what she would say to me.
That
And I'm like,
cuts.
yeah. And vulnerability is good. And I'm glad that you now see that as success. But now it's time to get out of your head.
I will admit, like I am, frankly, my own worst enemy. And it's been told multiple times that I do tend to overthink quite a bit.
Oh, that's my
Explain the
specialty. Overthinking is my specialty. What's the next question?
Ooh, let's see. How does my future look for my bodybuilding path?
Ooh, okay.
We love this.
I'm really curious.
So, you know, it's almost the opposite of what
So-
you think it's going to be. Like, you're like, oh, it's going to help build my mind stronger. Yes, but it's also going to put you in like a vulnerable space.
Okay.
Because now you're sharing not only like your story, but your body, right? Your physical. And I feel like this is also going to help you balance like your friend life and stuff. So
Okay.
if you see yourself kind of pulling away, it's not because you don't want these people in your life. It's just because now you have more responsibility. So I see not a lot of friendships like staying. I feel like you're opening a new path.
I keep getting that he's shedding the people who don't belong in his life.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like you're going to be shedding those people.
Is that more so like intentionally, just more so just?
This is the universe saying those people do not belong there.
Yeah. The universe will start pointing out like this person doesn't belong in your
When
life.
you start being in alignment of what your path is and where you're supposed to be, and you start glowing, you start feeling better, people start seeing it, like, oh, I see a difference in you, Juan Carlos. There's going to be toxic people who want to come back
Sure.
to be like, oh, let me tap into that. And what the universe says is, no, we don't need those people. Those people weren't there when you needed them. And the universe will get rid of them.
Yeah, and my cards are all like swords again.
I was gonna say.
I have swords reversed, 6 of swords, and then 7 of swords reversed, and then the Knight of Pentacles is the overall feeling of everything, which is usually slow moving if it's upright. So I feel like things are going to start to speed up for you, and it's almost going to put, you know how I said you're going to be like more vulnerable? I feel like that's going to make you more approachable to people. So probably in your head, you're like, I'm bulking up. I'm going to look mean. No one's going to approach me. No. So yeah, things are going to speed up. So I hope you're ready for this ride. So I cut the deck and I got the Tower reverse, which tells me you've already been through your toughest times. Now it's time to enjoy your soft era.
I like that.
Enjoy your soft era. Not to
I
say that
really-
it's not going to be challenging,
No,
right?
claro,
But
claro.
But the
But
biggest challenges you've faced and you've overcome. So
I really knocking on that wood.
let everyone hear you now.
Okay, I'm knocking on that.
Manifest that and putting out in the universe.
Ponlo.
Any other question?
Yeah, I gotta say, so big part of it is gonna be, will the people I care about still be part along this journey with me?
I'm getting a yes.
Me too, but you know.
But we'll ask the cards.
Yeah,
but
we'll ask the cards.
My intuition said yes.
Yeah, so I feel like, not que te tenían dormido, but you were not aware of some of the people that were really supporting you, maybe because they were like silently supporting you. So you're going to see that your little group is actually a little bigger than you thought. So yes, these people will still support you. They're going to back you up 100%. They want to see you happy. The Fool reversed, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords reversed, and then 10 of Pentacles reversed, which usually is like a happy family. So it is going to put a little tension just because probably you won't be as available as they were used to. I don't know if you're always around, like you make really big effort, but now with more responsibilities, it's going to be a little less time. But they are there for you and they know like you're going through some challenges.
Yeah.
So they're understanding. That's really what I'm getting. What are you?
My dad popped into my head and I just felt my heart swell, which to me tells me that there is this incredible pride and joy, and we talked about living vicariously. There is that, but it's almost like not his. It's because it's you. It's because it's his son. And now he's living this. There's so much pride in that, that's what came up to me, but he may not show it. So cuidado con eso.
Okay.
Yeah. As
He
you're
may
talk-
be more like, no, estás haciendo esto mal, or guidance that looks like that, but it's really love.
Yeah, as you were talking about his father and being proud of him, I got Page of Wands, someone looking at their wand and admiring it. So I totally see what she's saying about your dad, like admiring where you're at, being like, this is awesome, being supportive, but you know, internally. But he's rooting for you. I got the Star. This is his energy for you. So he's rooting for you. He's manifesting for you. He's praying for you. I don't know if he's religious. He's asking the universe, whatever that means to him, right? Like a higher power, the universe, somebody. He's asking for you and about you.
So beautiful.
I love it.
I got all like warm and fuzzy.
Now it's time for my favorite part, a reading for the collective.
These cards will be for the collective, so really resonated with being stuck in imposter syndrome with any of your story you may have shared. I truly do believe that there's power in healing with sharing stories, which is why we love the podcast, because it clears your throat chakra, it clears out your body to say, I'm going to own it. It's okay.
And other people can relate to it.
100%. You will not be the only one. I would love to hear from any male perspective that say, yes, I resonate with that.
Déjame saber.
So the first one is, I let the universe catch up with my dreams. So you have these dreams. Let the universe take care of that and help you with that. When I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally. Support will surround me and movements will form. I think this is so funny because we talked about how you accomplished all these things and yet that void was still felt. There was still like a piece missing, this joy that wasn't there. But when you started to take care of your body, when you started taking care of these other aspects of your life, not just the career piece, but like the healing, the body, and it's all connected, mind, body, spirit. But when you start making that a joy, a priority, brilliant ideas will come. And I really do feel like with the, I let the universe catch up with my dreams, and that when you allow those things to flow and to happen naturally, that's when these things, everything, todo va a caer en su lugar. Everything's going to fall into place. And the last card says, I am patient, knowing that whatever is of the highest good is coming to me. So whatever is meant to be is meant to be. And I don't think that the fact that you haven't passed the bar just yet is a failure. I think that whatever's meant to be is going to fall into place. And I think sometimes we need to step back. I'm getting this very strong message of we need to step back and take a look at everything in front of us instead of looking behind. I'm getting a very strong message of stop looking behind, start looking in front. And when you start doing that, think about all the alignment and things that start to fall into place. Let me look at the bottom of the deck. When I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. When you let your mind, body, and spirit all align and coexist, everything's going to work out. And you may think like, oh, no pasó como yo quise, or in my head, this is how it was supposed to be, and these expectations from our family, from our own conceived like, dream, what this career path, what this competition will look like, but trust that whatever will happen, so long as it brings you joy, so long as you are in your body, so long as you are enjoying what you're doing and you actually take pleasure in that, the universe is going to make sure that everything falls into place. And that's actually how you're going to know that this is meant for you, because everything will just kind of fall into place. These opportunities, you sharing your story, coaches coming to you, people coming to you, everything's just going to fall into place, and you're going to know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's when we hit those speed bumps that we need to take a step back and be like, ¿por qué? And what is the lesson we need to learn here? That's all it is. It's a lesson.
That's totally fair.
So I hope that that resonates with not only you, Juan Carlos, but also with our listeners who are listening and who are watching. So any closing arguments?
Like I say, it's an absolute placer estar con usted aquí. So thank you for having me. I think it's definitely a mind-opening opportunity. So I appreciate that, and letting me share my story also con toda la gente aquí, con el país, con esto, porque it's just really, it's tough. And I think people need to know that it's okay. Most importantly.
Exactly it.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story.
Yes.
Con todo gusto.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. And we hope to see you back again.
Invítame
You'll,
todo aquí para usted.
you'll have to let us know
Part two.
your competition and how everything's
For
going.
sure.
So, Brujis, let's talk about it. Have you ever hit rock bottom? Felt like everything you thought would work out completely fell apart? Sometimes it's in the lowest point that we learn the most and find clarity, strength, and a chance to rewrite our story. What was your rock bottom moment, and how did it shape you? This episode is a reminder that the universe will always conspire for us, but will also redirect us. So spill the tea. It's time to share.
Send in your story via Instagram, TikTok, or readingthetea.com. We might share you in a future episode.
As we wrap up, we're so grateful you joined us today. If you love this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it on Spotify or Apple, and stay connected with us on social media for behind-the-scenes moments, exclusive content, and ways to engage with our comunidad. This space is for all of us, so bring your stories, your energy, and curiosity.
Until next time, keep sipping your tea, trusting your path, and embracing the magic of it all.
Nos vemos pronto.